Skylar, you got your invocation?
I'm ready, sir, whenever you are.
We up? Okay, we're going to call this our regularly scheduled meeting to order. If everybody please rise for our invocation, led by Skylar Miller.
Our Father, we thank you for the honor to come to you in prayer. We know that if we ask anything according to your will, we may have it. Our desire is to have your will be done in our business at hand. We ask this in your name. Amen.
Everybody please remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
If Mr. Porter would note that all three trustees are present. First item on the agenda is approval of minutes October 4, 2022, and public hearing and trustee meeting. Do we have a motion on the public hearing?
I move we approve the public hearing minutes from October 4th.
Second?
Motion is second. Any further discussion? Mr. Porter?
Mr. James?
Aye.
Ms. Schwegman?
Aye.
Mr. Weedman?
Aye. Next item is the trustee meeting.
I move we approve the trustee meeting minutes from October 4th, 2022.
Second?
Motion is second. Any further discussion? Mr. Porter?
Mr. James?
Aye.
Ms. Schwegman?
Aye.
Mr. Weedman?
Aye. Next item on the agenda, we're going to move something around here. We have a retirement in our community, and we want to honor that retiree. We do have a proclamation. I'm going to read the proclamation first. Proclamation designating November 30th, 2022 as Mike Bitterman Day in Sycamore Township. Whereas Patrol Officer Mike Bitterman has served with the Hamilton County Sheriff's Office since October 8, 1992, and whereas Officer Bitterman was first assigned to the Hamilton County Justice Center as a corrections officer until he was promoted to road patrol on January 20th, 2000. And whereas Officer Bitterman was transferred from District 1 to District 3 on July 1, 2000, and has primarily patrolled Sycamore Township ever since. And whereas during that time, Officer Bitterman has responded to 20,592 calls for service, made 1,143 arrests, issued 4,183 traffic citations, and taken 1,633 offense reports and 1,484 crash reports. And whereas Officer Bitterman has spent the majority of his time on patrol in the township serving the citizens of High Point subdivision and was unofficially crowned as the mayor of High Point. And whereas the board wishes to extend its deepest appreciation to Officer Bitterman for his many years of service, keeping the citizens of Sycamore Township safe, and offer its warmest and sincerest congratulations and best wishes to him on the occasion of his retirement. Now therefore be it proclaimed by the Board of Trustees of Sycamore Township, State of Ohio, in commendation of Officer Mike Bitterman, that November 30, 2022 is Mike Bitterman Day in Sycamore Township. Signed and entered the 18th day of October 2022.
I move we approve the proclamation.
A second?
Motion and second. Any further discussion? Mr. Porter?
Mr. James?
Aye.
Ms. Schwegman?
Aye.
Mr. Weedman?
Aye. Mike, you want to come up? We'll get a picture.
Congratulations. Congratulations. Good luck.
Congratulations.
Mike, I want to say, first of all, that, let's go here. I want to say, first of all, over the 17 years, we've worked a lot together. We, especially in High Point, we had our sign campaign. We had our.
They still have signs up.
Yeah, they do. I've been through there, definitely the case. Block Watch, we instituted Block Watch there, so everything's been great. We have great experience with you. You've done great things for the township, and we really appreciate it.
Thank you.
We will miss you.
And you're one of the only guys I have to look up to.
Yeah. There's not a lot.
All right, who has the camera?
All right,
You have
over
the
here.
camera?
Quick one.
And 3, 2, 1.
Thanks, man. Thanks for all your
Thank you.
work.
Congratulations.
Congratulations. You know, if all it took was making me administrator to get him to retire, you could have done this a long time ago.
Okay, we're going to go back to our sequence on the agenda. Next item is a presentation by Hamilton County R3 Source Solid Waste Plan Update.
Well, first of all, thanks for having me. My name is Brad Johnson. I'm the Director of Hamilton County, the Department of Environmental Services. And if you're not familiar with the department, the quickest way to explain it is we are the Southwest Ohio Air Quality Agency, so we serve more than just Hamilton County. With that agency, we serve 5 counties here in the Southwest Ohio area. And we basically do everything for Ohio EPA when it comes to air regulations on that side. That's not why I'm here, though, today. I'm actually here for the other agency that I lead, which is Hamilton County Resource. Formerly, that was Hamilton County Recycling and Solid Waste District. And they did go through a rebranding about a year and a half ago, and it was because they do more than just promote recycling. It actually, the R3 stands for the reduce, reuse, recycle. That's the 3 tenets of waste handling. And so I'm here to kind of give you a very, very quick update on the solid waste plan. And feel free, if you have any questions as I go through this, interrupt me. This is more of an interactive thing. It's not as exciting as a retirement, but we'll get through it. And if you have questions, definitely ask me. Okay, great. Thank you. So I already told you about resource, but really the quickest way is we're not a regulatory agency on that side. We do things to promote reducing the amount of waste that goes to the landfill. If you're not familiar with the history, back in the late 80s, the state of Ohio actually implemented a House bill that created these solid waste districts throughout the state of Ohio. So we represent that district here in Hamilton County. And before I go through the plan, just to kind of maybe give you a better feel for some of the things that Resource does, they're the agency that gives out grants here to promote recycling and reducing waste. So probably the biggest one that you might be familiar with, we're the only one in the state of Ohio that does this, but we have it's called the Residential Recycling Incentive, and that's actually where we give money back to the communities based on the amount of waste that you divert from the landfill. So every year, Sycamore Township sees, in fact, I did pull the number. Let's see if I have it here. I think last year you were one of our high performers, and you diverted, I don't have the amount of waste here, but almost $17,000 went back, which you can use to promote ways to reduce waste. So we also do outreach campaigns. So when you see TV commercials promoting recycling and new materials that can be recycled through Rumpke's MRF, we're usually the agency that promotes that. You also might see us on the news. One of the big things that we've been doing this year is reducing food waste. So like working with Kroger and food banks. So when items at the store go past their shelf life, they don't go into waste. They actually get reused or composted too. That's an option. So you may have seen a lot of those outreach campaigns. Environmental enforcement, we started this program in 2018. That's actually where we hire a deputy sheriff. You guys might know it's Deputy Brian Peak. Deputy Peak actually goes throughout the county, and for the individuals who don't follow through with, say, littering, open dumping, we have those chronic areas in the county. He actually goes out, investigates, and will take individuals to courts when that does happen, and that's been a very successful program, almost to the point where we might expand it as we move forward. And then one other program that you may have heard of is we've had these programs that go all the way back to the implementation of the district, but drop-offs for yard waste, drop-offs for household hazardous waste, those kinds of things. So as far as the plan goes, again, I don't want to go too in detail because it is 300 pages. It's a very long plan. A lot of it is kind of the same. It doesn't change a lot over the years. But I do want to hit a few things, kind of the timeline of it. The way it works is every 5 years, the state of Ohio requires us to update the plan. And it's a 15-year plan. Really, the purpose of the plan is to make sure, number one, we have enough capacity in our landfill. We're unique because we have Rumpke. The other thing that it looks to do is it looks to make sure that you're following the mandated recycling goals. So you may not know it, but Hamilton County has a goal that we have to hit when it comes to recycling. We hit that every year, but we're always looking for ways to improve that. So as far as where we are right now, we've already submitted. We started in 2021. We submitted the plan to Ohio EPA this summer. We got the comments back, all good comments. We're going through those comments now, making those changes, and we will submit it back to Ohio EPA, and that's where you come in. Once the plan comes back to us, we would need ratification from each of the, I know there's 49 communities in Hamilton County. We do 48 because one of our communities, Milford, actually is more in Claremont County. But we're looking for, we need 60% of the population to ratify the plan. And to give you an idea, we typically hit 100% on ratification. We hit 100% last year. So I do want to kind of just give you some ideas of some small changes and kind of overarching themes that are happening in the plan this year, or for the next 5 years if it gets ratified. The RRI, the residential recycling incentive, that's not going away. There's been talk about whether we need to keep doing that, and we realize it does have a lot of benefits. So that will continue. In fact, it has. We get our fees through what's called tipping fees. So every ton that goes across the tipping scales at Rumpke, $1 of that, when it's in district, comes to us. So we want to make sure that if we do go into recession, we don't strap ourselves financially. So we do have the $800 there maintained, but if we go above, we'll actually put more money into that RRI. So that would make you even more eligible for funding. The other thing we found is some small communities felt they weren't getting their fair share because they're so small they couldn't get. So we did build in a minimum amount of money that they might get as well. The other big thing we did is you probably have noticed over the last couple decades we've really focused on residential. That's where all the commercials, and we get out to the communities, you see the totes, and we've been working with each of the communities, but we haven't really focused on the businesses. And when you look at the actual numbers, we could have a pretty substantial impact in the business sector. So in this plan, we dedicate more money to getting out to those businesses to incentivize them to recycle and reduce their waste. So food waste goes along with that too. So you'll see that in the plan. The other big thing that we did, again, we're the leader in the state of Ohio with this. We realized that diversity, equity, and inclusion is something that shouldn't be necessarily just a goal. We want it to be in our plan and everything we do. So an example would be our drop-off locations. Is it accessible to everybody in the community? And the answer is no. So we're going to find ways to make things more accessible to the community, especially in low-income areas, or if, say, Sycamore Township has special needs, we want to make sure that we hit those needs. So we hired an actual consultant who came in and evaluated our plan, and we have a lot of extra things in there to address equity and inclusion. So that's a big item that's in the plan. So that's kind of the quick nutshell of the 300 pages. It's a lot of data, a lot of statistics, but we wanted to make sure we got out to the communities and gave them an update on it. So that way when it does come your way, you'll know what it's all about. And there is a resolution that we will send over to your administration to make sure we'll get it to you, Tracy, and your staff. And we'll probably be looking for that sometime in the early part of the year is when that'll happen. Oh, one last thing. We have a policy committee. They have expressed interest in raising that tipping fee rate, not for in-district, so it would not impact any of your residents. They're looking for out-of-district. So it would mainly hit our neighbors, Butler County and Warren County. They're looking at possibly raising that out-of-district fee. So that would be a part of it as well, potentially. Okay? But I appreciate it. Again, I'm the director. I do have our solid waste manager, Michelle Baltz, on here. She's the primary contact. She's the one that wrote this plan and worked with it, but I'm always happy to help you out. Any questions or anything? I've worked with Tracy. I've been with public health, or I've been with Hamilton County for 15 years now, and I worked with Tracy, I don't know, 4 or 5 years when I did stormwater at public health. So Tracy's, I was happy to see he's administrator and ask him, I was like, was that planned? He's like, well, kind of, but not really. But I'm happy to see him sitting there. Nice to see you, Tracy.
Yeah, good to see you.
Any questions?
Any questions?
No, thanks for coming.
Thanks for
All right,
coming out.
thank you. I
Appreciate
appreciate
it.
it.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Yep.
Thanks.
All right. And I apologize, I'm going to scoot out. I got a couple of kids' activities I got to get to. So
All righty, thank you.
thanks
Enjoy.
again.
Next item on the agenda, public comments. We have anybody?
No one signed up, sir.
Okay. Next item on the agenda, Sheriff Patrol Report.
Two things. First, unfortunately, Major Kedeman, the Patrol Division Commander, was not able to attend tonight. He had a prior commitment, but he just wanted me to pass along my thanks to the board for the proclamation and helping us recognize Deputy Bitterman's well-deserved retirement. So, thank you. And second, we wanted to introduce Herman Euler. So Herman Euler has been with the Patrol Division since 2013, and he will be taking over Deputy Bitterman's beat. And they'll be working together. They've been working together, kind of introduce him to the area. But he's familiar. He's worked Sims Township for a while. Herman's been at District 2 since 2020. Very, very good veteran officer, very in tune with the community he patrols. When we were looking to approach someone to take Mike's spot, I'd say Herman was at the top of our list, so I was pretty excited that he was interested in doing this.
Great.
So I don't think we'll miss a beat.
Look forward to coming back to serve. When I first came out to the road, I actually started over here in District 3 in South Sycamore. I was a county car for a little bit, floating around between the north and the south. Right before I left, they put me in the beat right by the mall, so I got pretty busy there, of course. And then I was moved to Arlington and Lincoln Heights. I did about 7 years over there, keeping myself busy, so I've kind of been around the block a little bit with that over there. And finally, about 2020, I got to come back over here where I was started, which I wanted to get back because I worked with Mike and a couple of the other officers that are also now retired that wanted to come back to work with them before they left. And now I'm here to, as far as I've planned in my future, to stay here. So I look forward to serving the community.
That's
here.
great. We're looking
Welcome.
forward to it.
All right.
Welcome back.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anything else, Mike?
That's all I have.
Okay. Any questions?
Actually, I do have one, I guess. Do you have any update on what happened at Louis Vuitton and afterward?
It's an ongoing investigation.
Okay.
That's about all I can do.
See you, Mike.
Okay, thanks.
When we do have something, I'll certainly let
Yeah.
you guys know.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Next item on the agenda, EMS and Fire. Chief.
Good evening. One of the things I have is to dispose of some surplus property that we have. We've got 3 old hydraulic pumps that was part of our original rescue equipment. It's been sitting in a firehouse for a number of years now. We can dispose of those. We'll put them on Gov Deals, see if we can get somebody interested in them that way. And then we have an old cot. That's an old Furno cot that we no longer use. We're using all Stryker now, so we couldn't interchange it if we wanted to, so we're going to dump that,
Okay.
get rid of that. So I have a resolution for that.
I think we actually had that listed under the administrator.
Okay.
I can move to it if you
No,
want.
go ahead. We'll just leave it like that. And then the next item on the agenda is the smoke detector installation liability form that I drew this up. You know, we go out and install and give away smoke detectors to our residents, and we install them in their homes, but we really have no liability form for to get the township or the fire department off the liability if something fails, or if it's not maintained, or if the house catches on fire, that they don't come after the township or the fire department for the detector. So we basically worded it that takes the liability off of us. It also says that we don't endorse any type of brand or any type of smoke detector or the batteries of the smoke detector. We're nearly just there as a service to an install where people can't do it and give the smoke detector away to people that need it. But we have no manufacturing connection or anything like that to any particular manufacturers or companies. I've created this liability form on a phone app, so when they go out and install them, they can read the verbiage on it, and then they can do a signature right on the phone. And we'll be logging all of those.
Larry, have you looked at this?
I have looked at it, and it looked fine to me. Tom
Okay.
picked up a couple of typos that the chief's going to fix, and
Great.
we should be fine.
Pass that down to Chief. He can just have my copy of that there.
Yeah. And that's all I have.
Okay. Any questions?
Just very good to do this, Chief. That's a very good idea, good initiative here.
Next item is roads maintenance and recreation report.
Okay, roads has been very busy. Cougar Mill finally has been completely closed out. That project came in a total of $149,500 under budget, so that was nice to see. We still have some invoices out to Hamilton County and Greater Cincinnati Waterworks that we'll be collecting. So you'll notice that when we get to POs, that we have a PO for Cougar Mill because we didn't have all the money to cover it because we have those funds out for Waterworks and Hamilton County that we are still to receive back. We will be covering that until then. Besides that, Larchview is going well. We've got it covered up and paved. It's ready for the final course. So we got lucky with a very dry September and early October, and they're doing concrete work now. So we're probably about 2 weeks away from actually starting to mill Plainfield Road and do our final pavement as long as the weather holds out. Donegal Headwall project's completed. Our 2022 road program over in Kenwood Meadows is completed, except for a little bit of punch-out work that needs to be done. Leaf season started today.
I heard them.
So, did you hear them?
Yeah.
They were out hot and heavy. I know it's their favorite time of year. So they're always happy when leaf season comes around. Also, last week we had we put on a winter operations training for all the townships in Hamilton County. We had about 70 people that showed up for it, so it was a real good training event. Went real well. Other than that, we have put in today, as a matter of fact, it's funny that we're doing that presentation tonight, for the R3 Source Impact Grant, which is for equipment for recycling. So we are putting in for a new chipper.
Oh, good.
Ours has gotten a lot of work over all the years. It's getting
That's
worn
great.
out. So if we can get it, that would be great. As you know, we have the highest township totals in rate of recycling 3 years running. So, and a lot of that has to do with our yard waste and our programs that we do there. So that's all I have for roads, unless you have any questions.
No questions.
I have one. Did you hear anything back from ODOT about the light cycling problem on Montgomery Road at I-71?
You know, I did not hear anything back from them. They went out and apparently worked on it.
I guess they fixed
called
it.
them back, and
Okay.
I have not received a call. So,
Hopefully it's done. No holiday problems coming up.
oh yeah, well, believe me, we'll be keeping an eye on that for sure.
Thanks.
Any other questions? Anything for recreation?
No, sir.
Okay. Next item is planning and zoning. Schuyler?
Sir. Let's see. I'll get the resolution out of the way first. I do have a public nuisance for the board to review tonight. The property is at 12020 Fifth Avenue. This is junk trash, debris, junk equipment essentially in the property. It is a rental property. The property owner has been unresponsive. We have been trying to work with the tenant in the house, but there hasn't been any cooperation. Just adversarial discussions. So we don't expect any voluntary compliance on this one. So I'll show you the pictures actually I'll read the resolution real fast. It's a resolution providing for and authorizing removal of vegetation, garbage, refuse, and other debris, and declaring a nuisance for the property located at 12020 Fifth Avenue, Sycamore Township, Ohio, 45249.
I'll go ahead and move we approve that resolution.
Having looked at the photos, yes, I will second that resolution.
Motion is second. Any further discussion? Mr. Porter?
Mr. James?
Well, have you presented the photos? I'm sorry, I was moving to approve it simply so we could get it on the agenda.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
Okay.
The pictures that you have before you, I'll just kind of run through them. Again, these are junk. It's junk equipment. Nothing's running. They're basically just essentially scrapping and taking these things apart in their driveway. So, and it's just a constant accumulation of various garbage.
Okay.
So,
Mr. Porter?
Mr. James?
Aye.
Ms. Schwigman?
Aye.
Mr. Weedman?
Aye.
okay. Other than that, the zoning commission met last week. They heard the case for 2022-14 MA. This is a zone change and major adjustment to an existing PUD. This is the new campus proposal at Kids First. This is a increase in area for the existing PUD. They're proposing to develop a standalone, child daycare center off of Salzman Road. So that'll be coming in front of the trustees. I believe we've tentatively scheduled that for 6 p.m. The night of November 1st.
Okay.
So. Okay. And on a non-zoning note, we have been working on upgrading the traffic camera system. We received the traffic cameras, the 13 additional traffic cameras for the Kenwood area. And I believe we have the first 4 or 5 up right now, and we're planning on having, if not all of them, at least every major intersection on Kenwood and Montgomery Road installed before Black Friday.
Okay, good.
So the new cameras, they're, instead of just having a singular view at the intersection, we're actually going to see every leg of the intersection. So much better coverage.
Good, that's excellent.
Yep. That's all I have.
Do we still have TEC monitoring those?
TEC will monitor those
We
during
will.
the holiday season.
Perfect. Okay,
As long as you approve it, we will.
Yep.
any questions?
I have a question. As a follow-up to our meeting last week, or 2 weeks ago, I should say, I think you were going to attend some of the Metro meetings. What did we
Yes.
learn?
So Steve Rotosofer attended the Reading Road meeting on, I believe, the 10th, or was it? I guess it was the 11th, and I attended the following one for Montgomery Road. So very much it was, these were open house meetings. They were trying to, collect information from just the public. The information that they were providing was simply, displays of the website material. I did speak to a number of representatives, consultants for the Metro, and I spoke to a traffic engineer that had a lot of concerns about the Montgomery Road route. She was of the 4 options, it was probably the most congested. So it seemed to not be favored with the consultants from that perspective. But we took Steve and I both, we essentially took the comments from the board. We made a letter, actually 2 separate letters signed by Tracy that was favoring the Reading Road route and kind of asking that the Montgomery Road not be considered because of the our concerns with traffic, negative impact on right-of-way, streetscape that the township's invested so much in. So they seemed receptive to it. We traded contact information, and we're gonna stay stay in contact as the process progresses.
Very good. I appreciate that follow-up. Thank you.
Skylar, would you send me a copy of that letter, please?
Yes.
One of the things that the advisory committee I'm serving on for that is doing, we're meeting again on the 31st to go over what's come in from the public input so far, so I'll be interested to see the letter, of course, for that. I understand they're doing some presentations to the governing boards in various communities that are affected by this too. We might want to consider having them come in here to tell us what they're thinking, and so we can give them feedback about it so they can get a feeling for what the board wants too. That might be worth doing.
I do think it's worthwhile. I actually watched one of their online ones today, so I have a sense of what that presentation looked like. I think it might be worth having a presentation like that here, not only for our edification, but for any of the residents that might want to have something to say about it as well.
Yeah,
I'll send both those letters to all three of you.
great, thank you.
Okay, any other questions? Scott, anything else?
That's all I have this
Okay.
time.
Law Director report, Larry.
I do not have anything to report.
Okay. Administrator report, Tracy.
The first thing I have is a resolution for surplus equipment that the chief talked about. So I have a resolution declaring township property as surplus and obsolete and authorizing its disposition, dispensing with a second reading, and declaring an emergency.
I move we approve the resolution.
Second?
Motion second, any further discussion? Mr. Porter.
Mr. James?
Aye.
Ms. Schwagman?
Aye.
Mr. Weedman?
Aye.
So next I have a resolution giving myself permission to sign an agreement about the 457 plan. I sent this all to you for your review. This is through Mutual of Omaha. This is something that we've already been doing, but after we started this, we were contacted by a third-party administrator that we didn't know was part of it when we were approached. And so there was some paperwork that needs to be signed. I've sent it to Larry, who has also reviewed it, and he felt that we should pass a resolution to this for trustee approval.
Okay.
Yeah. So a resolution authorizing the township administrator to sign all documents and agreements necessary to implement Sycamore Township's governmental 457B plan.
I move we approve the resolution.
Second?
Motion is second, any further discussion?
Just comment here, just to clarify, it's not clear from the context of the resolution itself. We already have a 457B plan. This is supplementing it with new provisions, is that correct?
This is the 457B plan that we have now, and this is a third-party administrator that is going to be running that plan. And he has, and I sent all the paperwork to you to
Right.
review.
And that indicated the board had approved a 457B plan back in 2008, I think. So this is
That's
in
correct.
supplement to the existing plan, not creation of a new plan. I just want to clarify that.
Correct, because earlier this year, you voted and agreed to switch over to this plan from Mutual of Omaha.
Right. I just wanted to get that on the record because it suggests from the wording of the resolution that we are for the first time entering into one. I just wanted to make that clear. Thank you.
Any further questions? Mr. Porter.
Mr. James?
Aye.
Ms. Schwagman?
Aye.
Mr. Weedman?
Aye.
Next thing on the agenda is property and casualty insurance. I'm going to table this. We have not gotten the final numbers that we were hoping to have by tonight. So this will have to be completed at our next meeting because November 1st is the date that it expires.
Okay.
Question then, does that timing work since we won't be meeting until the evening of the day it expires?
It does work. I've already talked to him about that. So the other thing, I'd like to thank Officer Bitterman. I wish he wouldn't have left after working with him for over 2 decades. He has done a great job for us. It's always been a pleasure. My crew has always depended on him. I'm going to have to get Herman Euler's cell phone number in replace of Mr. Bitterman's, who I've come to lean on over the years very much. But we'd like to, officially thank Mike. He's done a great job for us. So the only other thing I have is a list of purchase orders for your approval. So the first one is PO 22-139-2 for admin utilities. This is coming out of general fund, and all these, there is money appropriated for all these POs before we get into them. And this is an amount of $20,000. Second one is PO number 22-286. This is Pacewell. This is a pass-through. This is for 7450 Keller Road, in the amount of $96,565.21. The next one is also C-Pace for Pacewell 3 LLC, also a pass-through in the amount of $57,153.89. The next one is for firefighters physicals, PO 22-288, in the amount of $19,234. This is coming out of the fire fund, and they do have the money for that. The next one is to Kenny's Collision Center. This is PO number 22-291. This is for repairs of our 2018 pumper. This was actually wrecked, Chief, what was that? This January?
January, February, yeah.
We've been waiting, and it's still not done. This is a partial payment, and there will be more, because after they got into it, they found some frame damage, so they are still working on it. So we are still without our pumper. But this is coming out of TIF, which is what we buy all our capital out of. Next is another pass-through. This is 22-292. This is a balance to the Port Authority for Kenwood Town Place in the amount of $748,328.99. And the last one, this is the final payment to Rack and Valor for Kugler Mill to close that project out. This is coming from the Kenwood TIF and the TIF Sycamore Center. This is an amount of $27,892.74.
I move we approve the purchase order list.
Second?
Motion is second. Any further discussion? I have a question regarding the Kenny's Collision. Is that insurance not covering that?
That is insurance. The insurance sent us the check. So
Oh, gotcha.
This is just us writing a check
Okay.
for what we've already received for insurance.
Okay, gotcha. Thank you. Mr. Porter?
Mr. James?
Aye.
Ms. Schwegman?
Aye.
Mr. Weedman?
Aye. Anything else, Tracy?
No, sir, that's all I have.
Fiscal Officer Report, Mr. Porter.
Yes, we had cash receipts in the amount of $576,014.63, disbursements of $1,624,289.92. A complete listing of all of the receipts and disbursements is available in the packet for your review.
I move we approve.
Second?
Motion is second. Any further discussion? Mr. Porter.
Mr. James?
Aye.
Ms. Schwegman?
Aye.
Mr. Weedman?
Aye. Next item on the agenda, trustee comments. Tracy, anything?
Trustee comments. Yes, it's leaf season. So I know that all the neighborhoods are very much looking forward to seeing our township employees over the coming months. My house included. So thank you to your team. And also, I thought I'd make mention. It dawned on me, Chief Penny, when you were talking about the installation of smoke alarms and smoke detectors and what have you, that oftentimes when we change our clocks back, that is a good reminder for folks to switch out their batteries in those devices. And that's coming up hard and fast. Probably, well, I guess it's early November. So I guess we've got a couple more weeks, but it just dawned on me since we were on the topic and talking about smoke detectors. It's a good reminder that this is the time of year for that. That's all I have.
Okay.
I'll say thanks to our guys in advance for all the work they'll be doing for leaves. And snow's right around the corner, and I know that's probably their second favorite time of year, right?
Yeah.
So we hope that gets pushed off a little ways. Hope everyone has a safe and happy Halloween. Congratulations again to Officer Bitterman on his retirement. And speaking of retirement, of course, Mr. Porter has announced his, and the township has now put out a notice looking for candidates for fiscal officer. There's some big shoes to fill there, but anyone who's interested, please let us know. Thank you.
I'll just make a reminder to the residents that on the leaf pickup, please keep them on your lawn and not in the street. We've had a lot of issues with people putting them in the street and creating a lot of problems. So, including fires. So if you can keep them on your lawn, we will be by to pick them up. And I don't have anything else. Halloween is in Sycamore Township is October 31st from 6 to 8 p.m. And for all other events and items on the agenda, you can see that on our calendar on the on the website. And if there is no other business, we will take a motion to adjourn.
I move we adjourn.
A second.
Motion is second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
We are adjourned.